Global Transformation Astrology, GTA, with William Stickevers.
And what I said last year, one of the eclipse revelation slides, and I included this, right? Many conspiracy theories will be validated in 2024. So this is a slide 2023, and I stated that we're going to see these eclipse revelations come out in a very powerful, strong way. And one of them was last year, during the time of the eclipses in May of last year, we saw a breakthrough was the revelation in terms of the existence of a covert CIA group known as the Office of Global Access, which has been recovering unidentified flying objects from crash sites worldwide. The government sources state that the U.S. has collected at least 9 extraterrestrial craft, some damaged and 2 in mint condition. So, since its inception, the CIA Science and Technology Directorate in 2003, the OGA, has been on the forefront of these top secret missions, where they have technology that can detect even the most cloaked UFOs. Elite military squads are said to be dispatched to secure these otherworldly craft. And the OGA specializes in gaining access to the world's most forbidden zones for the U.S. military, from enemy lines deep inside of China to unknown frontiers of our planet. David Grusch, a former high-ranking military officer, intelligence officer, testified under oath about the existence of secret programs related to advanced technology surpassing current known U.S. capabilities. Now, this was under oath to Congress in public, and this is why UFO disclosure has officially begun. That occurred on July 26, 2023. So, David Grusch, 36-year-old, decorated former combat officer in Afghanistan, veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and National Reconnaissance Office, stated that through his official duties, he was informed of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval, or UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering program, but was denied direct access. Said he interviewed 40 witnesses inside government over 4 years, including current former intelligence and military personnel directly involved in UFO programs. States that the U.S. government has in its possession both complete and fragmented craft of non-human origin. Testified these witnesses confirmed the U.S. government has recovered non-human UAP pilots, right? Aliens. These programs have existed for decades and have achieved significant weaponization against our adversaries. Implied in that is China, Russia, and alien adversaries. He stated his main concern is that Congress does not have access to information and there's need for oversight. Then we saw Congress orders UFO records to be released, but drops the bid for broader disclosure. But you have to keep in mind, folks, prior to this UAP House panel hearing, there was no there as far as the military, as far as the Biden administration was concerned. There was no there in regards to the UFO subjects, UFOs or UAPs. There was no there. Then all of these statements come out in front of congressmen. And, what we can say here is that this thing is exploding. And let me give you an example of that. Let me just play this brief clip. And this is why this is important for 2024.
Mr. Fravor.
Very possible.
Again, in the national security vein, is it possible that these UAPs would be probing our capabilities? Yes or no, Mr. Graves?
Yes.
Grusch?
Yes.
Fravor?
Definitely.
Is it possible that these UAPs are testing for vulnerabilities in our current systems?
Yes. Yes. Possible.
Do you feel, based off of your experience and the information that you've been privy to, that these UAPs provide an existential threat to the national security of the United States? Mr. Graves?
Potentially.
Yes, sir, potentially.
Same answer, potentially.
Okay, so you could see here, this resulted in the Senate UAP Disclosure Act, the Senate, which approved the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon Disclosure Act, all government records concerning unidentified anomalous phenomena, government-derived word for UFO, should carry a presumption of immediate disclosure. So what is coming? The reason I'm bringing this up, this all happened last year. This is something I predicted for a while here since my 2018 Trump disclosure presentation. And should we see Trump become president again, he's likely to be the disclosure president. So what we're seeing coming this year is the beginning of ontological shock. Ontological shock refers to a profound and transformative experience where an individual or group or community or nation or world is compelled to reevaluate and fundamentally question Their long-held beliefs and perceptions of the world, of God, of religion, of government, of history. And this process involves a dramatic shift in thinking where previously accepted truths and ideologies are scrutinized and often found lacking. So people, society, or an individual is faced with the stark realization that their prior understanding of the world does not align with reality. And this realization precipitates a deep existential crisis, necessitating the arduous psychological endeavor of reconstructing a new framework of values, beliefs, principles, one that is in harmony with this radically altered worldview. So it's not really a change of opinion or, yeah, there's aliens, so what? It's really a significant transformation at the very core of one's being, reshaping the entire outlook of life and existence. And this is why we are on the brink of catastrophic UAP disclosure, where that disclosure could be forced, where we have a number of individuals who are at the level of David Grusch or higher that come out right to the media. We could see the Russians go forward with this. We could see the Chinese. We could also see an extraterrestrial alien group go forward with this information where they decide to start showing up in big numbers. And what we're looking at here is April 8, 2024. And I'm just looking at this loaded eighth house. Ontological shock is eighth house events. If someone would suddenly die, that's important in your life. There's no clue. It just boom, it happened, right? That would be an ontological shock. It'd be equivalent to a personal ontological shock. Or you found out you were adopted. You're 42 years old. You're going through Uranus opposition Uranus, Pluto square Pluto, Neptune square Neptune. And all of a sudden you find out, and I had a client like this, by the way, you're adopted, right? So that would be an ontological shock. Everything they thought about their history and who they were, right? So this is what we're seeing here, a combination of death, revelations. Disturbing revelations are going to have geopolitical impacts. They're going to have technological and scientific implications and societal and cultural changes because of the potential, or what I would call a Black Swan event of catastrophic UAP disclosure, where governments or unauthorized bodies outside the United States or outside the United States government suddenly and publicly acknowledge the existence of extraterrestrial life. And this disclosure will have profound impact. So this is the type of Black Swan, and we're in the Black Swan zone, the Black Swan twilight zone, an unforeseeable but highly consequential incident that has profound, long-lasting manifestation, complications, crisis as a result. For instance, the potential disintegration of the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 is considered a geopolitical Black Swan event. So we saw, right, the treaty on the creation of the USSR in 1922, and then we saw the lunar eclipse in December of 1991. And no one saw this coming, where Mikhail Gorbachev resigned in 1991 following a lunar eclipse marking the end of the Soviet Union and the start of a new geopolitical era. So trust me, nobody saw that coming, the collapse of the Soviet Union, collapse of the Soviet Empire. And we see here the People's Republic of China. Look at this eclipse here, March 25th, 2024. Lunar eclipse makes a direct hit to China's radiant sun, while transiting Pluto is right on its ascendant, right on its moon ascendant. And this is followed up by a solar eclipse hitting the China's radiant sun. So we could see actually China trigger a ontological Black Swan event. So that basically creates geopolitical risk. Protracted war between Hamas and Israel, igniting a wider regional conflict that requires American military direct massive intervention into Iran, which is behind Hamas and other factions. Venezuela making a land grab for Guyana's oil-rich regions. China moving to take over island territory in the South China Sea, sudden geopolitical fracturing from election outcomes that upend the deep state global world order. We could also see central bank monetary policy lag catches up with the economy due to some type of credit event. U.S. and European commercial real estate market collapse, forcing that credit event. Chinese property market collapse, which has already begun. When I was putting this together, Evergrande did not go into liquidation. So it's already begun, folks.
To watch the full presentation and more like this on geopolitics, the economy, and world events from an archetypal and mundane astrological perspective, join the Global Transformation Astrology membership. Go to gta.williamstickevers.com. Become a GTA member today.